July 20th to 23rd is going to be a period of time to be very aware of what is leaving, closing out, not working, and not effective. Over these few days, we're going to have Mars in Virgo conjunct the South Node in Virgo at 19 and 20 degrees in your chart. So you identify where you have 19 and 20 degrees of Virgo by house placement. This is where the South Node is signaling that endings are needed. You're meant to be complete and release. You're meant to let it go, even if it's not perfect, even if it's not exactly what you thought it would be. That South Node in Virgo is giving you an understanding that you're not meant to worry, stress, or further invest your time into this part of your life. And that South Node in Virgo is simply wanting you to be free and alleviated of anything that is maybe too tight, too stressful. It isn't getting you where you want to go. It's no longer satisfying. And as Mars comes through and triggers this part of your chart, Mars reveals the frustration, the anger, what you've been maybe withholding that finally comes out and is released. Mars is a trigger, and it triggers what needs to be completed and basically pushed aside. This is where you're probably ready to make a change, or you've only been thinking about it. Mars forces it. Mars forces the change to occur. So this is where we're going to see what is no longer effective and what you're ready to simply let it go, but to do so understanding that the North Node in Pisces wants you to feel complete with it, liberated, free, peaceful. Let yourself off the hook. Instead of applying more pressure of what it should be, this is where you're moving into accepting what is. It is what it is. I'm just going to let it go, and I'm going to allow that to be something that directs me into greater self-compassion and an honoring of my humanness. Now, another part of this energy, Mars conjunct the South Node, is that it can stir up that repressed energy that finally comes out and allows you to move on, allows you to move into the next version, the next chapter, the next something. So this can be a lightening of the load. It can feel like I was overworking this, overthinking it, holding too much energy around it. And because Mars in Virgo directly relates to our physical body, there could be some important physical messages around stress, worry, guilt. You might be tuning in to something your body is holding that relates to your digestive tract, stomach, intestines. You could see where you've been out of health, out of good practices. There could be an understanding of what routines are not working, what patterns, what lifestyle choices are not leading you to the results you want. So there's change here that's needed. It could be drastic, but it's meant to show you it's time to change course. It's time to approach this differently, to accept what is, and then make the necessary shifts. Now, in addition to Mars conjunct the South Node in Virgo, At the same time, we have Venus in Gemini squaring Mars and squaring the nodal axis. So this Venus in Gemini is squaring the south node, squaring the north node. And she wants to offer choices, details, options. She's ready to be adaptable and look at, okay, if that isn't working for you, let's try this instead. And there can be more of a willingness to work with what needs to change. This Venus in Gemini brings in the information, and it could be through a Venus energy. So it could be through a feminine energy, be it a friend, a partner, a sister, who brings in, why don't you look at this or try this? Let's talk about it. Let's explore it. Let's consider it. The Venus square is also meant you to see that it's time to shift trajectory and to know that it isn't about perfection, but it can be about just exploring the fact that there's multiple ways to do things well. So what do you need to learn? Or how do you need to speak to yourself in a new way? What did you not realize before that now you're realizing? And with this square between Venus and Mars, that can bring up differences of needs, directions, and perceptions, especially in relationships. So this can bring up, we're not on the same page, or I need to change this, and they want to do this. You could be split in which choice to make. And when this Venus is squaring the nodes of fate, the nodal axis, you're meant to choose what your intuition is bringing up for you. Because that North Node in Pisces is strengthening those signals and messages that you're feeling, sensing, and emotionally tuning into, which gets you out of the mind, the rationale, the logic, and is moving you into a direction that actually is going to be more fulfilling, even though you don't have maybe all the details just yet. So with Venus in this conversation with not only Mars, but the nodal axis, Venus is important here because she's reminding you that you can make a new choice and to make a higher choice, which might actually feel like it's in perfect alignment with what Mars is directing you to close out and let go of. Now, there's another factor here. We're talking about Mars in Virgo, Venus in Gemini. Both are ruled by Mercury, and Mercury is now retrograde in Leo. So this is a time of more creative problem solving and sitting with yourself to ensure that it's in alignment with your heart, with what is inspiring you or motivating you. There's always a reassessment with that Mercury retrograde. So when we look at all of these dynamics here, July 20th to 23rd is a time to be highly conscious and aware. What is my best choice? What is the higher choice? What has been holding me back? What has been stressing me out? How can I bust through any of those energies that I feel are spinning in my mind? Because there's a strong cerebral energy signature here. And where can I tap in to more creative options that will present themselves and probably are going to be more evident during the July 24th Leo new moon? which is a powerhouse of energy, big new starts, a very bold time of development and new intentions. So as we look at how this plays out, right before that new moon, there's things that you're aware of that aren't working. It's not satisfying. It's not fulfilling. Maybe you've been doing it because of the shoulds and the obligations. And there's also a part of you that's getting louder in directing you towards the higher choice or the more intuitive pathway that is directly from the soul. I mean, there's an energy here of release yourself from too much of the earthly burdens in order to fly higher and move into what your soul is creating for you in the higher frequencies. So an interesting dance here around the nodal axis. And again, it's at 19 and 20 degrees of Virgo. So that's the area of your chart to look at what you are closing out. And also to know, like, it's right on time. So can you set yourself free? Can you move into the next experience knowing that it's coming together if it hasn't already presented itself? And it's meant to be something new and different. So I hope this resonates. I hope this gives you some understandings around what you might be moving through or experiencing right now as we move into the second half of July. And I'll have a video for you shortly on that Leo new moon, which is on July 24th. Again, it's a very dynamic new moon, and it's really going to energize what you're ready for next. So just know that whatever's closing out, the new is not only in the mix and showing up, but you're going to feel so much stronger around the energies that are being created there too. As always, thank you for joining me, and I'll be back with another video soon.